Rain Disick finally knows his real father after he asked for a paternity test. If you have been following the Kardashian clan long enough, you will know that it is no secret that Scott has always doubted that Kourtney's third child, Rain, is his. In recent years, there have been many rumors that Justin Bieber might be the father. Could that be possible? Rain seems to be an exact copy of Justin, and the timeline of Kourtney and Justin fits exactly into the picture. Fans began to notice striking similarities between Rain and Justin, from their facial features to their signature expressions. Social media quickly exploded with side-by-side photos, and online forums were flooded with theories connecting the dots. But how did all these speculations happen? Well, it all started with Kim Kardashian's little wish for Kendall Jenner, then 14, to get together with then 16-year-old Justin.
He's adorable. He's 16 years old. I met him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Kim made it look like it was just simply dating, but fans obviously knew that it was all Kim and Kris's grand plan to suck Justin in so that he could skyrocket Kendall up and coming modeling career and keep the family relevant. And Justin did the work to keep the family in the news. He literally has a thing with each and every member of Kardashian-Jenner family. Not a single one is out of the equation, not even their mother, Kris. He was rumored to be dating Kylie, and then there was also all that steamy talk with someone that sounded like Kendall. But none of them ended up with a baby from him. So Kourtney wasn't giving enough to the show at that time. Basically, she was losing popularity because her relationship with Scott was over and she became boring. So what was the best way to get her in the news again and make her relevant? Yes, Justin to the rescue. It is hilarious because Justin knew he was being used and was more than happy to play the role of a celebrity savior. But to think they would even have a relationship is the oddest thing ever, given that Kourtney is 15 years older than Justin. Apparently, age is just a number for these ones. However, multiple sources claim they had been seeing each other before officially stepping out as a couple in October 2015.
How's Scott doing?
Are you dating Justin Bieber?
Any chance that maybe you guys can work things out?
Kourtney, yeah.
You guys are looking great.
Slay, Kourtney, slay.
Escalate.
Justin.
Rudy!
They were spotted leaving a popular restaurant, and although they came separately, Kourtney left in Justin's car. The night was still young for these two, and they ended up hanging out at Universal Studios' Hollywood Horror Night. Sources said they were doing things just friends don't do, and Justin had his hands around her all night. When he was later asked about his relationship with Kourtney in an interview, he tried to downplay it as if it was nothing, saying there was nothing there, and we would leave it at that. Even though Justin was around Kourtney's children way too much than expected, almost like he was the boyfriend that got along with his girl kid, and when he started dating Hailey, she made it clear he couldn't ever speak to Kourtney. Apparently, one of Hailey's rules is that Justin can never keep in touch with his ex-girlfriends, and that includes Selena. So if Kourtney isn't an ex, why did Hailey say he couldn't speak to her? And it was a possibility, because Justin enjoyed his time with Kourtney a little too much, that he found time to post a provocative picture of him and a woman who might be Kourtney, with a caption that said, "Lord knows," to provoke Scott. Y'all remember Scott calls himself the Lord, right? This explains why Scott can't stand Justin, but honestly, it is much more than just jealousy of seeing his woman with another man. Scott has always been suspicious of the timing of the birth of their last child. He and many others believed that Justin could have impregnated Kourtney months before Scott and Kourtney got back together. Then there is also the fact that Rain was the kid Scott never really wanted, and when he even found out Kourtney was pregnant, there was not a single drop of joy oozing from him. He was just not happy with the news.
I just wanted to tell you that I am pregnant.
All right, such.
Scott might have acted that way because he knew he and Kourtney were not in a good place in their relationship to have more children, and he hadn't exactly been around that much for them to meet up and make a baby. Then whose baby is it? Scott was probably doing some maths then, and would later ask Kourtney for a DNA test, which she refused. Surprisingly, she had one when she had her first child with Scott, but refused to do it again for Rain, making everyone super suspicious of Kourtney and Justin. The timing was the most compelling aspect. Rain was born on December 14th. He was conceived 9 months prior, which tells us Kourtney took in around March. March was a difficult month for their relationship. Scott was battling depression and seeing other women, so he barely had any time to really get down with Kourtney. It was also the period she and Justin were hanging out a lot. Even Ellen knew there was more between them.
Does Justin Bieber help with the kids at all, or?
No, only
That's the rumor. I know y'all are just friends, right? Or are you really dating him?
we're friends.
You're friends.
Yes.
Why are you smiling that way?
Even though Rain is the spitting image of Justin and looks nothing like Scott, it has finally been confirmed that Justin is not Rain's father. Scott has tried multiple times to get Kourtney to fess up and tell him the truth, but in the past, she always refused to say anything until now. Scott's trust issues with Kourtney run deep because he knows that in the past she hung out with other guys whenever they were fighting to get him jealous. He suspects that was what she was also doing with Justin and believes they must have been doing much more than being friends. But because Justin has been in the news so much lately, and the fact that he is now a father himself, Kourtney thought about taking a paternity test. Also because there is so much gossip going around, and Scott is not sure whether he is Rain's father. In addition, Kourtney finds it hard that when Rain is older, he will probably see all this gossip on the internet about who his real father is. Kourtney doesn't want to hurt him and be able to reassure him. It also turns out that Travis, Kim, and Khloe urged her to take the paternity test, not only because of the gossip, but also for herself, because Kourtney has had a lot of trouble over the years because of the gossip going around that Justin is Rain's father. But she didn't want to take the paternity test because of this gossip, because of people who just say things. For Rain's health, and also to reassure Scott a bit, she has finally taken the paternity test. According to The Insider, Khloe accompanied Kourtney to the clinic to take the test. Kourtney was very nervous and hesitated even before going in and had a mild panic attack. Khloe reassured her, after which she decided to go inside. After she was tested, the samples were sent to the laboratory and Kourtney had to wait. And after 5 days, she finally received the message. The result of the paternity test is quite unexpected. Even though everyone thought Justin was Rain's father, it turns out to actually be Scott. According to an insider, Scott is extremely grateful that Kourtney finally took the test, and he feels enormously relieved. The love for his son has never changed, but it is nice that it is now clear to everyone that he is the real father. It turns out that Kourtney is also very relieved, because according to an insider, Kourtney also doubted whether Scott was really the father. Because besides Justin, she also had fun with other men during that time. This was the reason she never took a paternity test, because she really had no idea what would come out. She was very relieved with this outcome, especially for Rain, so he never has to doubt who his father is. She also hopes that the gossip will stop for now and forever. What do you think? Do you really believe Scott is the father? Or is this set up so people won't talk about it anymore?